Hey, good evening. This is Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous. Let me start this presentation this evening by giving a disclaimer about an eye thing that I have going on. So I know it's distracting, so I'll just put it out there front so it doesn't distract you any longer. It's an eye thing that's going on that'll take me a while to get through, but it's nothing urgent. It's just one of those little hemorrhaging things that happens in people's eyes. So I don't want you to be distracted because I want to speak to you directly on a topic tonight that, as always, I feel is very important as you go through the process of divorce. So, my name is Kathy Beatty, and I'm with Divorce Support Anonymous, walking with you every step of the way through the trauma of divorce. I am a group facilitator, I am a divorce coach, I'm also a domestic mediator. I work with people to get them through their divorce to minimize the damage that it is creating financially, emotionally, spiritually, in all ways. Divorce can be devastating. I want you to get through this as smoothly, as least amount of damage as possible for you and for your children. So I know many of you, oh, sorry, I have a dog who's letting me know that there's someone outside. It's going to be one of those nights, isn't it? So the topic tonight that I want to talk to you about is when you are accused of something. And so many times as people are going through divorce, they are accused of doing certain things, behaving certain ways. And there are reasons for that. We're going to get into that. And then if you go into mediation, you will have the other parties, your spouse's attorney, do some of the accusing. And I want to give you some tools to help you with that because accusations can throw you. They can make you very defensive and distract you away from what is important that needs to be resolved in mediation. So the first thing you want to do when you're accused is defend yourself. You want to defend yourself. And that's natural and that's normal. I want to give you some tools to help you so being accused does not throw you. Oh, I wish I could close. I will close the door on my dog. Hold on one sec. I think there's a bad guy out there that my dog feels he needs to warn me about. So my apologies. Accusations. It's so easy for us to go into defense mode. I'm going to speak with you about in mediation or the court. If you're being accused by a family member or other people or even your spouse and you know it's incorrect, then just blow it off. Quite frankly, you don't have the energy for it. The only things you have energy for right now is taking care of you and taking care of your children. You don't have time to worry about what other people are thinking, saying, doing. Let it go. Let it go. The truth comes out eventually, and you just don't need to worry about it right now. You have enough on your plate. So much, in fact, that I want to help you through this. So I've had several stories, and really what inspired this was someone that I was speaking with today about the accusations that the spouse was making toward them. And I've heard so many stories. You can imagine 17 years of doing this, the stories that I have heard, and some of them is like, is you couldn't put this in a soap opera and make it believable because it's so bizarre. But it happens. I remember one woman whose husband said, "You are going to be living under a bridge." And and it's like, well, no, it doesn't work that way. He doesn't come in and explain and dictate how everything's going to happen. That's not how the law works. So you may be facing accusations of your spouse right now. If you are, I am so sorry because it can be so very painful and can throw you so much. I don't want it to throw you. I don't want it to throw you. I want to just give you, in the beginning, just a couple of Bible verses that I think are really helpful. How God loves truth and justice. and mercy as well. The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy. I love that. So when you hear accusations, especially those that you know are not true, coming at you, just keep in mind that God hates this. And so really lends itself to believe that God's on your side. God is always on the side of truth, always on the side of truth and justice. And then there's another verse that I think is applicable. Guide me in your truth and teach me, God, for you are God, my Savior, and my hope is in you all day long. Even now, even in all of this chaos and turmoil, God is your hope. He is truth, and he will guide you through this experience of going through divorce. So, what's the relevance of the accusation? When someone is accusing you, if your spouse and you're finding yourself in mediation, or in the court for that matter, um, what is the relevance of this accusation? For example, someone may want to bring up a past experience or something that happened in your past that has nothing to do with the relevant case. And I'm thinking of a case that I dealt with this week, actually, where it had to do with parenting time. And this spouse was bringing up these things of the past that happened before the children were born, before they were even married. So it really doesn't have any relevance to the situation that is before the court. So make sure when someone is accusing you in mediation or in the court that it has anything to do with a topic that is before the court or being discussed in mediation. People want to slaughter your character, but it may have nothing to do with the relevancy. What you did before you were married or before the children were born really has no relevancy on the issue of your divorce. And people are grasping for this mud to throw sometimes because they are desperate. And illogical. That happens in divorce frequently. So keep in mind, what does this have to do with with what's relevant, what you're discussing, what's important? Is this just mudslinging? Is this just throwing mud to try to hurt your character? Keep it on topic. Always keep it on topic and keep it in the facts. No emotions. We're dealing with the facts when we are in mediation. So very, very important to know, is it relevant to the topic? Don't let the accusations defeat you. You're going to naturally become very defensive when you are accused of something. And then if you have your spouse's attorney accusing you, yes, this happens in mediation all the time, not all the time, too many times it happens that the other attorney will start accusing you. Don't let this defeat you. Keep your focus on what is important, what are the topics that you are discussing, and don't let this shake you. It doesn't. They're trying to manipulate. They're trying to intimidate. So you will shut down and surrender. You can't surrender. That is not an option, because what you are discussing really relates to your future and your life. How many times have I seen people trying to intimidate, to try to shut down the other person for them to just surrender and give up? You can't. You simply can't. Take a break. Take a break in mediation. You'll always have the opportunity to take a break, to think clearly. Don't let it get the best of you. I know that's easier said than done, but hopefully you have someone beside you, your attorney, who's going to guide you with this. If you are going into mediation without an attorney, then you just say, I always tell my folks, say time out. Doesn't matter if I'm in the middle of a sentence, say time out. You need to take a break. That's fine. You need to think. You need to pray. That's fine. Do it. In fact, I always say in my opening statement, if you need to take a break and have a cigarette break, even though you never smoked a day in your life, today might be the day to do it. Take the breaks you need so you can think clearly after these accusations. You know what the truth is. Let's deal in the truth. What's the motivation of their accusations? Again, what I mentioned earlier, they may be trying to slaughter your character so they can have more parenting time, take the kids away, a number of motivations. But try to think, what is it that they're after? Many parents who are totally uninvolved say, oh, I want 50-50. I want 50-50 parenting time. And they've never parented a day in the marriage or taken the responsibility of the marriage or were a part of the child raising. All of a sudden they want 50-50. Why do they do that? Why? You know your spouse. Is it because they seriously want parenting time, quality time with their children, or are they wanting to pay less in spousal support? That is a motivation sometimes. Sadly, it is. Maybe they want more money. Maybe they think they can accuse you of different things so that they get more of the assets. So think about why in the world would they accuse me of this? What are their thoughts? What are they thinking? And that might help you to drop your defenses and say, oh, okay, I get it. This is about money, or this is about parenting time. So just think about what is their motivation. The next one, let's face it, you and I, we weren't perfect in the marriage. We weren't perfect. Neither one of us. You weren't perfect. Your spouse wasn't perfect. So you don't want to get into the mudslinging about different things that happen when, and your time is too precious and short and valuable in mediation. Don't start telling all of these stories. And if people do in my mediations, I simply say that it's not productive. It's not helping us get anywhere. We both know that we failed. We failed in the relationship. We failed sometimes in the parenting. We know that we weren't perfect. But that's not what we're discussing today. We're discussing the mediation, the parenting time, the division of assets, the division of debts. Stick to the facts. Stick to the facts. And one statement that I always say in my mediation is this is not the place to punish the other person. And that happens sometimes. I'm going to punish you because you had that affair. It doesn't work that way. It really doesn't work that way. So live in truth. The truth is always, always our friend. Sometimes it's hard. And if you've been accused of something that actually happened in mediation, and this I wouldn't do without advice from your attorney, do I need to admit, yeah, that's true. That is how it happened. That is the truth. And I understand how wrong that was. I understand my actions and my behavior was unbecoming of a spouse or unbecoming of a parent. And I see the error of my ways. The truth is always, always your friend, even the hard ones. So make your answer truthful, direct, and related to the relevancy of the topic. And even if they want to go off on a tangent and go another direction, bring it back to the topic at hand. Keeping in mind you are paying the attorneys, you're paying the mediator. You don't want to waste this time, and you don't want to start in this blame and shame game. It is not productive. It will not help you get to the other side of the mediation. You know, we all perceive truth differently in the experiences in our marriage. We perceive things differently. And that's why it's so helpful as you go into mediation and dealing with your attorneys as well, that you stick to the facts and the truth. Because that is going to be more efficient, it's going to get you further as you go through mediation and go through this process. Don't be trying to hide anything. Just put the truth out there, deal with the truth, deal with the numbers, deal with the facts. And when this is all over, you can look back and say, you know what? That was the hardest thing that I did in my life, but I did it with character and I did it with truth. And therefore I can let it go and I don't have to carry this baggage any longer. So let me just summarize. When you're accused, you're going to naturally become defensive. I want you to speak the truth, and I want you not to be defeated by the accusations, whether they're false or whether they're true, that are coming at you. Stick to the truth, be direct, keep on the topic, the relevant topic, and dismiss those things that no longer have to do with your relationship or your future or the current situation. It's so easy to get off track. Stay on the track, stay focused. What's important? What are the things that have to be resolved and decided today? And what's the best interest of my children? And stay there, because that is going to shorten your mediation, it's going to shorten your time in court. It's just going to make life simpler. And speaking of minimizing the damage, it will minimize the damage tremendously. So I hope this has been of help to you, and let me know. Reach out if you want to have a conversation. My first consultation is free. Many people are terrified of mediation and they just want to understand the process, or they're terrified of attorneys. They don't know how to use an attorney. I want to help guide you through that. I don't want you to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that you don't have to spend, that you simply do not have to spend. I hope you have requested this workbook, which I have sent out. Oh goodness, I should have counted how many of these I have sent out. A lot, many, many hundreds of these workbooks to those people who are wanting to get a handle on the divorce. Maybe you just found out about divorce, or you're in the process and you're somewhat confused on the whole process, don't know where to begin. The workbook is going to help you. So let me know how I can be of help. I look forward to hearing from you. I appreciate your time and joining me today. This is Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous, working with you every step of the way through the trauma of divorce and after divorce. Thanks for being with us this evening. We'll see you next Friday night. Have a good evening.